and welcome. In the last video we spent time extending the analysis of our Power BI report. We conditionally formatted our matrix table, we added KPI values for revenue and units, we added slicers for date and manufacturer. In this video we'll be finalising the layout of our report, ready to publish to the Power BI service. Let's begin by adding a background. A background can help add consistency to the layout of a set of reports and is generally best practice when used within an organisation. Click on some whitespace on the screen and then navigate to the Format tab on the right hand side under Visualizations. Notice that these are all page options. Expand Page Background and click on the option to add image. From the Explorer window that opens, navigate back to the Data folder and select the background image available there. Click Open. By default, you won't see any difference. This confuses a lot of users. But notice here the transparency is set to 100%. Let's reduce that to 0. You should now see the background appear in the background. Notice how some of the visuals already have a background on them. Let's remove some of these so that it sits nicely on the background we've imported. Click on the matrix visual and then navigate to the Format tab under Visualizations. Find the option for background and let's switch it off. Let's now click on the revenue by growth and let's navigate back over to the Format tab on the right and switch off the background. Let's move over to the revenue by country, click, navigate back over to the Format tab and switch the background off. Let's select our gauge visual and navigate back to the visualization pane and switch the background off. Let's do the same for the slicers. Click on the date filter, come back over to the Format tab and switch the background off. Let's also do it with the manufacturer filter. Click on the filter and then switch the background off. Great stuff. We're now going to take some time and rearrange the visuals on the page. Use the edges around each visual to resize and reposition the visuals. We'll be placing the KPIs and the gauge visual along with the date filter on the left hand side. We'll be moving the revenue by year to the bottom half and spreading that across the whole width of the page and placing the matrix table along the same level as the country visual. Take some time and ensure the visuals are in the same place as seen on screen. We can now see the shape of our dashboard really coming together. Let's give our dashboard a title. Navigate to the Insert tab at the top and click on Text Box. This will place the text box on the screen. Resize and reposition to fit on the blue bar at the top. To add a title, simply click inside the box and type Manufacturer Analysis. Highlight the text and on the ribbon that appears underneath, click on the drop down next to A and select White. Change the size to 24 and then navigate to the visualization on the right hand side and switch the background off. Let's just quickly resize the title and center align the text using the option on the black floating ribbon. Next, let's add a logo. Click on the blue space in the top left corner and from the Insert ribbon at the top, click on Image. From the folder, select the logo and click Open. Find the image on the page, resize and reposition it to fit in the top left corner of the blue header. We now have the majority of the dashboard components in place, so let's take some time to format the visuals we currently have. Our aim is to make the visuals as clean and as presentable as possible. Let's start by adding some data labels to the revenue by year visual. Ensure the visual is selected and navigate to the Format tab on the right hand side. Find the option for data labels and let's switch them on. Although the labels look okay at first glance, when we drill down to the next level, you'll notice that the end user would have trouble distinguishing one value from another, not knowing which number corresponds to which point on the visual. So let's handle this. With the visual selected, navigate to the Format tab on the right hand side and expand Data Labels. Scroll down until you see the option for Customize Series. Then switch it on. You'll notice additional options appear under this setting. The first is a drop-down showing the measures contained in the visual. We'll start with the revenue figure. Ensure the revenue is selected and from the colour picker underneath, select white. Scroll down a little more until you see the option for background colour. We're going to select blue, the same blue as used in the bars. Then from the option underneath, we're going to remove the transparency and set that to 0. Excellent stuff. Let's do that again for the growth percentage. Scroll back up until you see the drop down underneath the option for Customize Series. Select growth percentage from the drop down. And from the colour picker underneath, this time let's select black. Scroll down until you see the option for background colour and select orange, the same one as the line. And then underneath that, let's remove the transparency by setting it to 0. Now if we have a look at our visual and drill down to the next level, we'll see that even though there are a number of values on the visual, we can still determine and distinguish which belong to which. This, for the end user, is a better view. Let's move on to our revenue by country visual. We want to tidy this up by removing some of the visual clutter. We have a title that says revenue by country, which is self-explanatory, but then we also have a revenue title and a country title, which for me are just taking up extra visual space. So let's handle this. Ensure the visual is selected and navigate to the Format tab under Visualizations. First of all, let's switch on the data labels. We don't need to format any of these any further as it's just a single value. We don't need our y-axis, so find the option for y-axis and switch it off. In the search bar at the top, let's type in title. From the title option under x-axis, let's switch it off. Let's navigate to the title option under the y-axis and switch that off also. Scroll down to the main title area and let's change the font colour of the actual title to white. Let's then change the background colour to dark blue. And then finally, let's align it to the centre. This visual is still showing the same data as before, but now with a lot less clutter. Let's move over to our matrix table. Click on the matrix table and then navigate to the Format tab under Visualizations. Find the option for title, switch it on and expand the section. Let's add the title Product Matrix. We can then change the font colour to white and the background colour to dark blue. And then finally, we can center align it. We're now bringing some consistency into our visual headers. Let's click on the revenue by year visual and update the header on there. Find the option for title under the Format tab, change your font colour to white and the background colour to blue. And then let's center align it. As we did with the revenue by country visual, let's clear some of the clutter. In the search bar at the top, let's type in title. From the title option under X-axis, let's switch it off. Let's navigate to the title option under the Y-axis and switch that off also. Navigate to and click on the revenue gauge visual on the left hand side. Let's update the title for this also. Navigate back to the Format tab on the right hand side, find the option for title, and let's update the title to say revenue versus previous year. Let's change the font colour to white, the background colour to blue, and center align the text. Really excellent work, well done. You can really see how a few simple formatting changes can really highlight the main features of a dashboard and give the end user a much better reporting experience. We have one final step to go before we complete our dashboard, and that's to import a custom visual from the App Store. You will need your Power BI login at this stage. If you don't have one, you can create one for free at powerbi.com or speak to your system administrator. Once you have your login details, the sign-in process is simple. Let's navigate to the visualizations on the right hand side and click on the ellipsis at the end of the visuals. Click on the option that says Get More Visuals. This will prompt you to sign in. Go through the sign-in process and this will take you to the App Store. The Power BI Visuals Gallery will appear on screen, giving you tons of visuals that you can use within your Power BI reports. My recommendation would be that use as many as you like, but make sure the data matches the visual. Let's search for Play Axis. And once found, click on Add. This will import the visual to your current Power BI report. Once successful, click OK. The custom visual will appear on the right hand side underneath the current visualizations. Let's click it to add it to our report and resize and reposition it underneath our gauge visual. From the dataset on the right hand side, expand the date in the date table and then expand the date hierarchy. Click on the checkbox next to year. Navigate to the Format tab and expand Colours. Switch the colours on. Notice the pretty colours on the play axis. And so we're now here, the final piece of the puzzle. All we need to do now is click that play button. Notice how the visuals play through the years one by one, giving us a great view of the revenue and performance over the years. This, after a day's worth of work, would be an amazing showcase at any presentation and or board meeting. In the next video, we'll be publishing to the Power BI service ready for collaboration. See you in the next video.